Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building. And as y'all can see today, I'm coming at y'all with another video. So from the looks of the title and the screen today, I'm going to be showing y'all the perfect Draymond Green build. Going to be called the Face Up 4 on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Now again, before we get any further into this video, I just want to go ahead and say thank you God for another day and another opportunity. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, and turn on post notifications, and don't forget to smash that like button. I would highly appreciate it. Now to everybody who has played 2K23, go ahead and let me know in the comments, what do you rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10? Now let's go ahead and get started with the breakdown of this build. We're making it out of the power forward position. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be the best power forward overall going throughout the year. I'm going to go with 6'9", 210 for the weight. Then when it comes down to the wingspan, I wanted to be able to maintain a 93-point shot. So I'm going to go with the 7-foot exact wingspan. Now for the body shape, you can go with built if you want to take up the most space, and that's exactly what I'm going to pick. Now I'm telling y'all, this is honestly the best Draymond Green build that you're going to be seeing. Even get comparisons of him, but when it comes down to the contact dunks, the offensive end, and the shooting end, you have everything that you're going to want. Now as far as when it comes down to the actual breakdown of this build, I'm going to go ahead and first get started with the physicals. So for my speed, I'm going to make sure that I go ahead and bring this up to at least the max. Now if you go anything below this, that's okay, but I'm telling y'all, you're definitely going to want that speed up. Now for the acceleration, I max this out as well. For the strength, to be a Draymond Green build, you cannot have a build with under 80 strength. I'm going to go with an 82, and that's actually going to allow us to get silver bully for our finishing badges. Now for the vertical, this will go hand in hand with being able to get pro contact dunks. But as for the stamina, I'm going to go with an 88. That's going to be perfect, especially once you get gym rat. Now for the vertical, I'm going to go with the 75 because I'm not trying to get the elite contact dunks on this build. That's going to be for another day and another archetype. But as far as for this one, this is going to be perfect. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the defensive end. For my rebounding, I wanted to make sure that I was getting not only a good offense, but making sure that I was going to be able to play all around on the defensive area. So as for my offensive and defensive rebound, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to an 85. Offensive will be a 45, and then for the block, I'm going to go with an 88, and right there, we're going to be able to get chased down artists on Hall of Fame. Now if you want to go with the max, that is perfectly okay. But as far as for this defensive setup, I'm telling y'all, look at the perimeter defense in 88. Then for the interior, I'm going to bring this up to the 80s as well, and we're going to be able to play inside as well as out. Now I could have went ahead and made this build at the height of 6'8" or even 6'7", but I felt like that really wasn't going to replicate Draymond, and especially with being able to play defense on the inside and outside, this is going to be the perfect 6'9" build to do that for. Now let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. I'm going to max out that speed with ball. As for the ball handle, if you want to go with the max in order to unlock clamp breaker on gold, that is perfectly okay, but I know throughout the year we're going to be able to get attributes added on towards our build. For example, if we have an arm sleeve with a +1 to our ball handle, this is going to allow us to get that next tier of a badge. Now for the pass accuracy, I'm going to go with the 68. Once you add boosts on this build, this is going to get brought up into the 70s, so just something to take into consideration going forward. And again, if you want to make your own adjustments, that really comes down to your own liking and how you want to go about the making of this build. 16 badges when it comes down to the playmaking, and 20 when it comes down to the defensive. Now let's go ahead and move on to get into the breakdown of the shooting on this build. So as far as for the free throw, I'm going to say anywhere from 70 all the way up to the 80s is going to be perfectly okay. Now, I know I did say I wanted to go with at least a 93-pointer. I'm going to go with an 89 because I know we're going to be able to get that +1 from a cosmetic. Now, for the mid-range shot, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to where I'm at least able to get Mini Magician on Hall of Fame. You can go with 81 or 82. It really comes down to your own preference. 24 badges for the shooting, 9 for the finishing, and right there, we're going to be able to get the pro contact dunks as long as you go above an 86 driving dunk. Now for my driving layup, this isn't too much of a concern. I wanted to be able to make sure that I was able to make this build as well-rounded as I possibly can, and I feel like we honestly got that, especially with focusing first on the physicals. Now for the defensive end, I'm pretty happy with how we're looking, but as far as for the offensive, we're going to be able to get all of the badges that we want. So since we did upgrade our strength, we'll be able to get bully on silver, still able to get silver on posterizer. Then when it comes down to the rest of the finishing badges, you have a good amount of tiers as well. Now for the shooting, we have a lot of Hall of Fame badges, and I'm telling you right now, the main thing that I was focusing on was at least to get over 20 badges. Now since we are able to unlock extra badges from each season, I truly believe the area that I would throw them into is going to be the finishing, playmaking. I feel like for now, the defense is pretty solid, but further down the year, that is something that I would definitely take into consideration. But look at the badges that we're able to get for the playmaking. Yes, we get 16, but the wealth that we're able to spread is going to be perfect. Now, the main thing for the defensive area that I was pretty happy about unlocking was going to be Hall of Fame Chase Down Artist, one of the best badges to get on this game. Now, I know that Rim Protector did change to Anchor. Now, this is honestly one of the best blocking badges to use as well, and the fact that they have it on tier 3, we're going to be able to get it as a core badge and unlock it at the silver tier. Now for the physicals, we have everything that we need like I said earlier, but let's go ahead and check out which takeovers we got. We get the shot creating, and my favorite out of these three will be the ankle breaking shots. The second one, I like limitless range for the sharpshooting. Now we also get 2 defensive takeovers. We get the actual lockdown takeover, but then on top of all that, we're going to be able to get the rim protecting as well. So the way that you want to go about this build is definitely going to be to your own liking and preference. For my own, I would first go with limitless range, just so that way I'm able to shoot from deep. Now the second one, I would say ankle breaking shots, just to have more fun on the offensive end. Now that's really going to come down to the own play style that you want to refer to, but for my liking, I'm going to go with first limitless range. The second one, I'm going to pick between stuff blocks as well as paint intimidation. Now you can go with the lockdown takeover, but if you're playing on the inside, I would go with paint intimidation just to be better overall. Now let's go ahead and check out the actual build that we're getting, and I'm telling y'all, with these comparisons, we're going to be able to get that Draymond Green type build. And out of the power forward position, we were able to create the best face up forward build, and I'm telling y'all, out of every single power forward that I have seen this year, this is going to be the one that hits perfectly on every single area of this build. You get the contact dunks, you're going to be able to get some of the best dribble moves. Then when it comes down to the shooting and the defensive area, that's where this build is really going to shine. You're going to be able to get that potential of a 99 3-pointer in takeover, but then also you get Hall of Fame midi magician, which for the mid-range makes this build just that much more better. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at what we're going to be able to do at 99 overall. As you can see, we do get that 89 when it comes down to the 3-point shot. If you add boost or even throw on a takeover, that's going to allow this build to shoot lights out. Now for the playmaking, we're going to be able to get everything that we want out of this area. I know the pass accuracy looks questionable, but if you add boost, that's going to completely change how we look at this build. When it comes down to the finishing, I'm going to go ahead and say first, I would go with limitless takeoff just to go ahead and make sure we get one of the most important badges put on first. From there, you can really go about it to your own liking, but this is one area that I would really consider throwing on the extra badges towards. That reason we're able to not only get bully on silver, but you're going to be able to use posterizer as your core badge, which means down the road, you're going to be able to have 2 tier 3 badges unlocked with any tiers from 1 and 2 to be able to put on for the badges. Now remember, this is just one setup to go about the making for the finishing, but I'm just going to go ahead and give y'all hints in case you make this build. Now to everybody still watching, go ahead and comment down below TG for thank God, and I most definitely got y'all with the response. Let's go ahead and move on to the shooting now. So as you can see right away, for my tier 1 badge, I did go with Hall of Fame midi magician. Tier 2, you can go with Agent 3 as well as guard up. This is going to be a pretty nice setup so far. Now for the tier 3 badges, these are probably some of the most overpowered to work with. We have blinders, also limitless range, deadeye, and catch and shoot. However you want to base it, make sure that you pick badges that you feel like are going to fit your playstyle. For my liking, I wanted to make sure that Agent 3 was going to be on at least with bronze. Mini magician is going to be essential for that mid-range, and however you want to go about the core badge, that's going to be perfectly okay. Now for the playmaking, we have everything that we need as well. We can go with hyperdrive, quick first step, as well as vice grip. Now as you can see, if you do end up adding badges toward the playmaking, you'll be able to get more of the tier 3 badges unlocked, but the fact that we still get silver handles for days as a core badge is really going to help us out down the road. Now this is just one way to go about the setup. Remember, if you want to change it, you definitely can do so. I'm just trying to lead y'all in the right direction, trying to show y'all a few different setups, and if you like it, go ahead and feel free to copy exactly what I'm showing y'all. Now, we also do get killer combos, but if you get that +1 towards your ball handle, you'll be able to get this badge on the gold tier, so that's also something to take into consideration going further. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and take it into the defensive area, and we have badges out of this build that are definitely going to be super overpowered on the defense defensive end. I'm going to go with Box Out Beast on gold, Hall of Fame Menace. Then you cannot forget about Hall of Fame Chase Down Artist, and already you can see just how good this build is going to be able to shine. Now I'm also going to go with Silver Clamps, but if you wanted to, you can go with Challenger for the Tier 2 badge. Now right here, we also do get Rebound Chaser as the core badge, or you can go with Anchor. Now there actually is another way to go about this setup. If you wanted to, you can change down the tier of Chase Down Artist to Silver, and right here you're able to put on Anchor as your core badge, as well as still be able to get Silver Rebound Chaser. Now this is just one setup that I would go with, but honestly probably one of the best in my opinion. And again, to those of y'all who made it to the end, thank you so much for your support. Thank you God for another day and another opportunity. If you like this build, go ahead and let me know in the comments what y'all think about it. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, and turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. And I would highly appreciate it if everybody went ahead and smashed that like button. But again, man, I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you again. God bless y'all. And with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.